Yeah, kind of break out of that form. Elite League has been like a staple in the Korean scene for many years now, and now we finally have ESL Open Cup Korea, right? So we would hope that we would have
I
similar participation there.
It's possible that the prize pool helps a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Like they
definitely.
heard that there's an increase, so they decided, yep, that's what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Alright, but speaking of which, I'm actually kind of happy that I get to announce this particular player light, and you'll see why. Here we have it on Zen LE, where you must be calm. LE, if for those who are not up to date, who are not streets ahead, does in fact stand for Lazarus Emporium. Lazarus Emporium. Come on down and live here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It is gonna be a blue Terran coming out from his both GSL. I'm gonna have to do a quick little alt tab here to remember if he was in TSL. Nope, not from TSL, which did happen last night. We have spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, representing KZ Gaming KZG. All the way from the land of Korea, it is gonna be Bonnie.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Zen LE, we have the Korean Protoss player currently representing Team LP. We have Patience.
That's the main reason I wanted the intro, Buddy Light. I just wanted to go Korean Rainer and just say Bonnie.
God damn it.
That's what we should call him from now on. Bonnie.
But
He ain't Bunny, he's Bonnie. I can hear the dot from here. I can hear the dot.
yeah.
No
Dots
words.
in the chat, but you know, we are seeing Patience in another PVT. We'll see if he, you know, changes anything, especially since Bunny, he is a higher tier Terran player. He is kind of established in the Korean scene, and I believe he didn't make it into the round of 16. Wait, did he make it into the round of 16?
I can check that real quick because I am not the observer.
so?
Haha.
I think he did, right? Yeah.
I can check that because I am not the observer. Haha. He made it to the round of 16. Was taken out by first, I believe, by parting, then by trap. So it didn't make it to round of 8.
Yeah, but of course, as a round of 16 Korean player, like, that is like pretty solid. Being able to take it to some of the top tier players as well. So yeah, we'll see how Patience deals with this.
And one thing I'm particularly excited for this match, like, they're both very stylistic players. Patience, he is a map man. He is, you know, he's not quite SOS, he's not quite Haas, but he does things that, you know, people would not really expect. And meanwhile, Bunny, he is probably the most dedicated to drop play nowadays. You will never see Bunny play Battle Mech. Or Mech, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless
especially
he's dropping Hellions.
Especially if in like this matchup, in this TvP matchup, like, he's not special, he's not TY, like we shouldn't be seeing mech against Protoss, especially from Bunny. But yeah, again, it looks like Patience, he is kind of sticking with his standard play, going for Blink once again, which I would say isn't anywhere near as good on this map compared to other maps. You can still blink up into the main base, but you can't like harass the third and then blink up into the main from there. You have to go all the way around to the right hand side to try and sneak in.
That is gonna be a little bit of an issue here, but Patience could just be getting it for safety. I'm never gonna rule that out. We know that it is Patience, but yeah, can't really rule that out. Actually going for the Warp Prism instead of the Observer, so that's how you know that Patience is going very, very aggressive here. I want to say even all in. Couple of probes will go down here. That's actually a bit more than I expected.
Yeah,
Patience.
yeah.
will get
not
scouted.
nearly as much as in the previous game where we saw 14 probes go down to 2 medevac drops, but some solid defense there from Patience. 3 Widowmines get 4 probes. Gets 1 extra probe than he probably should have, but yeah, good. So far some good drops there, and now I guess that cues Patience to be a little bit aggressive with these stalkers.
That it is. There is already a Viking out, as I believe Bunny doesn't trust what's coming out from that robo facility. We do see, as you were saying, like, you have to go all the way around here to this location in order to blink right on in. Bunny does not really have anti-air in that position. Where is that Viking? Oh, it's all the way in the back. It's all the way in the back. But there should be just enough here to defend here. For Bunny has to be so careful with this Viking, because that's the only way that he can really use to take out that Warp Prism. We do see a very nice blink for it. Yeah, punches on top of one of the tank. There is a backup tank back there. The Viking looks like it wants to get that Warp Prism, and the Marines will be able to clear it out, but a round of Warpins does manage to finish here for Patience. He's doing a lot of damage, will be able to take out this tank, and this could just about be it, Light. We could just about see Patience go up 1 in the series.
Bunny, he did manage to snipe the Warp Prism, but it was a little bit too late. That last Warp in did go through, and because of that, 16 workers have gone down. The tank count was reset, only 1 left, and it gets pounced on again. Oh, God.
Oi, big GG is called, and Patience gonna be taking that first game in this best of 3 series. Light, I feel like that was a game that exemplifies just how, when you have these 2 players who are really high up there and really, I would say even in terms of skill, how just a single second or a single Viking that was out of position can really be the deciding factor between a win and a loss.
Yeah, definitely. It was so unfortunate that his Viking was just slightly out of position. Like, he was expecting it. He was waiting there in that corner for that War Prism to come in, but it was just a little bit out of range. The War Prism did end up coming in, and it kind of snowballed from there. Like, Bunny, his defense was decent. Like, he ended up sniping the War Prism in the end, but it was just a little bit too late. And yeah, Patience with some solid blink play. And of what is known for.
Definitely, but particularly not in a way you might be expecting. Alright, we are going to be loading on to our next game, which, I don't know, like, I feel like Eternal Empire, our next map, we should see something different coming out. And to get something different here, we are in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire, ELE, which it does, of course, stand for Ephemeral Exorcist Linguini Extravaganza. Ephemeral Exorcist Linguini Extravaganza. It's a very interesting pasta dish. I want pasta now. Here we have, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is going to be a blue Terran, all the way from the land of Korea. He is coming here representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We're going to see if he can bounce around here and take another map from his opponent. We have a money.
So your brain stopped working there for a second.
It did.
Spawning in!
But thankfully Kuro was, grateful, helping me out there.
The top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Korean Protoss player currently representing Team Lao Pao. Lao Po? Team LP. We have Patience.
Which, if I am not mistaken, means grandma. Not Patience, Lao Po.
I cannot confirm or deny, but I will quickly put it in Google and see what comes of it.
Alright, well, keep in mind there are many different, words for grandma.
Like,
no, like, keep in mind there are, like, because, you know, you have the one which is, like, on your mother's side, and then on your dad's side, and then you have, like, the mother's side, but not of a certain dialect, so you have to call it something different.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's room for interpretation, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like singly defined. It could mean many things. But yeah, I think as we were loading into this game, we were talking about maybe seeing something different. I would say that it's on Bunny to switch things up. I think we've seen nothing but the same Blink opener from Patience, and there it is again. We have a Twilight Council. I imagine it's for Blink.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Yeah, I think it looks like this is kind of his go-to, and I don't blame him, right? Like, it is pretty good defensively, especially in current meta where there are Widowmine drops, where there are, like, Banshees as well, or Raven Harass. Like, Blink Stalkers are pretty good, like, defensively against those sorts of openers.
Yeah, they are. They're starting to get pretty versatile now as we see a little bit of a change in the meta. It's, you know, Blink Stalkers as an opening, it's not meta at all currently, but... You know, compared to what your Protoss or your Terran or your Zerg opponent might throw out for you, it's a fairly versatile option. Very much depends on what you want to go for. We do see Bunny switching up a little bit, going for some Hellion drops, it seems.
Yeah, it seems so, as there are quite a number of Hellions out, and there are Medrax on the way, so I imagine...
Not a Hellion drop, actually. It's going to be loading up Marines...
So we'll see if this, like, there is a hallucination Phoenix Scout, and Patience sees everything in the main base. I believe he also saw the medevac moving out, so this should trigger a response. He should know what is coming his way, and we'll see if he's prepared for it.
That's
as he is sending his Stalkers went into the main base to try and stop the drop there, but it's here in the natural.
There is not a lot here defensive-wise. The sentry already gonna be taken out, and the pressure is starting to mount on top of Patience. Now these Stalkers, they can trade pretty well against these Hellions, but what's going to happen once Bunny decides, I'm not going to fight these Stalkers, I'm going to go straight for the mineral line, as we're about to find out a lot of probes are starting to go down here. Very good choke point here for Bunny to really utilize. A lot more probes are starting to line up. Look at them all go down. 19 have already gone down here. Patience is behind 9 workers, now 7 workers. And that was very chaotic coming out here, and it's not going to be done. Bunny got a fusion core before this, going to be getting a battle cruiser.
Wow. Yeah, as this was happening, he was getting a fusion core, so there will be a battle cruiser follow-up, and that could just end it, depending on where these Stalkers are. And there was so much damage done there. 20 workers ended up going down, and Bunny got exactly what he wanted out of that drop. Luckily, the Stalkers were a little bit out of position, and his Hellions just went to town.
Indeed it did. Now 2 bases, you know, you can utilize Chrono Boost to try to recover from this, but yeah, Patience is not in a very good spot economically, not in a very good spot defensively, as we do see very clearly what Bunny's second phase is going to be. And I like this about Bunny, as we were saying earlier, you will never see Bunny go mech. He is not going BC mech that a lot of Terran players sometimes do in the TvP matchup. He's actually just going to be using it for harass, it seems.
Yeah.
But turns around when he sees Stalkers.
Yeah, he did teleport across the map, was looking to dive into the natural, but Patience, he is already set up defensively with these Stalkers, looking for, I mean, I'm sure he didn't know a BC was coming, but like whatever was coming, he would be ready defensively. And now that he saw that it was a BC, now he's just making sure he has enough Stalkers to deal with it, swarping in more and more.
Look at what is coming out. That is what we expect from Bunny. That is a medevac boost upgrade.
What?
I think
I was looking at that icon, and I have literally never seen that.
Bunny, I think it's Bunny, and I believe, I want to say Future, or one of the NA Terran players, who are the only people that get medevac boosts. Seether sometimes gets it.
I mean, when it comes to recent memory, we did cast, and we did see, I believe it was Foxer, do this in Spicy League on Acolyte. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
Medevac, yeah. So, for people like wondering what acolyte, what? So it's a bit of a long story, but we did cast an NA Terran in an insanely long game, and yeah, he did go for it. Now we have it here. Maybe Bunny was watching Spicy League.
I would not rule that out. That's in fact, yeah, no, that's absolutely what he was doing.
Yeah, that's the only explanation, really.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Bunny.
Avid fan.
I kind of like this. I believe it's so rare that you see that medevac boost upgrade, but it's one thing about it is that it basically means that you will never run out of boost. I don't remember if it increases the duration or if it lowers the cooldown, but what it is that basically once it runs out, you can boost again.
Yeah, pretty much. So we will see if that comes into play. You know, Bunny, we were saying as we were heading into this series that Bunny is pretty drop heavy in his styles, and that will definitely help in his endeavors as he is looking to move out with his main army. And honestly, when it comes to what Patience has, he's very Stalker heavy. He only has one Colossus for now. He should have a second for this push. Will that be enough though, especially with a supporting BC?
Well, Patience, you know, he does have a reservoir on top of that army. He is looking to posture his army somewhat defensively.
Yeah, he spots the army as well with
but
that
this
Stalker.
is going to be, yeah, but this is going to be a multi-prong, which is we were casting Spear versus Pili Pili. That's, as we were saying, that's something that can really pick apart the Protoss player very, very easily.
Yeah, and it looks like Bunny, he's trying to find an angle, and it looks like he found it. The army moved away from Patience at the wrong time.
And that's only 2 Colossus. That Raven is about to have enough energy to disable both of them. But Bunny is playing it fairly conservatively. Oh, nice. Raven's coming in, but it does get chased away and gets sniped by the Stalkers. Meanwhile, a lot of units are coming in here. He is, in fact, recalling. Could not snipe the Nexus fast enough. Meanwhile, do we have Yamato? We do not have Yamato. But there we have it. GG, Bunny. Going to be tying up the series sideways 1-1. That was more than enough army for the Terran player. Patience just didn't really know what to do after that.
Yeah, GG. Oh my god, that was an amazing setup by Bunny. And it was so cool because he had borrowed all his Widow Mines. Patience sent his hallucinated Phoenixes in to try and trigger the mines. He unborrowed and then reborrowed. So then it kept Patience cut off from his natural. And that forced Patience to recall. And even though the recall went off, his army just wasn't big enough. Like, Colossus were pounced upon and there was just too much fire for Bunny. Well played. Well played indeed.
This is why we wanted to cast this match light.
Oh yeah. This is StarCraft.
We were saying we were gonna have to see something different coming out from Bunny, and something different we did, and now we'll see if Patient switches it up as well. You know, his blink openings, they were working really well earlier. Now it's not working out too well for him. We'll see how he does. We do have a couple of updates here on the bracket. We have Solar taking out Gogo Joey 2-1. That is, who casted that? I do want to see. I want to see what happened there now.
Yeah,
we do know Gogo Joey on this channel.
Yeah, I was looking at the bracket as we were in that series, and I saw that Gogo Joey was going up against Solar. I was really hoping that we could like jump into that at some point, but it does look like Solar got through and he dropped the map to Gogo Joey. That's actually really impressive.
It definitely is. Gogo Joey, of course, our top GPO player of 2020, and now that he's on Team GP, he's just continuing to grow. I'm very excited.
Yeah. In general, he had some pretty impressive results. He 2-0'd top, or Kiwian, as he is now known. And yeah, taking a map off of Solar, that's a pretty solid run there by Gogo Joey, and I hope he isn't too disappointed, as like I'm impressed. Like to see him go up against a couple of Korean players and actually do perform, like, yeah.
It's definitely pretty good. By the way, Solar will be facing the winner of this series, which we're about to determine in this single map.
Yeah.
Do you also see that? Yeah.
I was just gonna say that that we do have a couple of other language streams here. So if you are a native German or Mandarin
or
speaker,
even a non-native,
Yeah, or even, even if you just want a couple of other perspectives, Bel Air as well as Mage are also casting this series, joining us here.
On a Simulac Rum. And take a sip of water before we...
Yeah. And as Yaku was saying, the winner of this series, as we are in the ace match, will go up against Solar.
Oh. And speaking of ace matches, we are now here in Simulac Rum. Yaha Fiddle LE by the C2 for 3 with me, bud. Here we are gonna be spawning in on the bottom right hand corner of the map, all the way in the bottom right hand corner of the map. We do in fact have our blue Terran all the way from the land of Korea. He's gonna be bouncing. He is representing KZ Gaming, KZG. He is bouncing along in this particular series, just trying to take one more map here in the ace. We have Bunny.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Simulacrum LE, we have the Korean Protoss player representing Team Lao Pao. Team LP, we have Patience.
You know, this reminds me, I didn't get to watch TSL last night. I did go to bed relatively early, but I heard that someone over at the production team at TSL has been enlightened. They've seen the ways of the fanfare.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I heard that there may have been a couple of trumpets ? I don't know. I cannot confirm or deny whether they're actually using casting tool or not. It'd be cool if they are.
But it was something along those lines. Patience now going to be switching it up, as we were saying. Now he's kind of forced to switch it up, and yeah, let's see what's going to be coming out from this pylon here. Bunny is going around with the Reaper, but should not be able to see that just based on the path. It is going to be a Stargate.
Ooh. Not gonna lie, I was half expecting a proxy Twilight Council. It's gonna be like, oh, he's proxying Blink. He's just doing it.
Why not? Like, he's proxying it, but it's the same build? No, you don't get it, man. It's because Buddy doesn't see the Twilight.
Exactly.
So he won't expect it coming out here.
He won't even know. He won't even know. But we do have a Stargate, and yeah, as we were saying, Patience, he's been doing the same thing every single PvT we've casted him today. Finally, he's switching it up, as he was nicely kind of countered by Bunny. Bunny did adapt in game number 2, really nicely catching Patience off guard, getting 20 worker kills early on. And we'll see if Bunny is able to scout this and react in time, because finally the Reaper is heading into the main base, but will it even get in? Oh, it's gonna get denied! Yo, he's gonna get in!
Is he gonna get in? He doesn't. Oh!
That was so
Slam
close.
dunked that body. It was very close.
It was a really nice mine as well. Like, he was trying his hardest to get away from that Stalker, but the main scout was denied, and because of that, Bunny has no idea that this proxy is out on the map.
No, he does not. He is playing it very defensively though. Has a lot of Marines that are rallied directly to the Oracle. But does, yeah, there we go. Does actually bait the Widow Mine, or bait the Oracle rather, into the mineral line. Now, Patience, he's not done yet. He's getting a couple more Oracles, but this time, Buddy's going to be a lot more vigilant about this.
Yeah, I think the time of dealing damage early on is done, and now Bunny, he knows the first Oracle went in, only killed 3 workers. That's not what you want for a proxy Oracle, and now this second one, to be fair, the main mineral line is a little bit exposed.
Yeah, that mine not off cooldown and was very, very low. Or was off cooldown, right? Look.
Yeah. Look, it didn't have a shot.
It didn't have a shot. There we go. It did not have a shot, literally and figuratively. Bunny is just about had enough of this. Gonna be getting a Viking just in case now. But the mine drop wheelman should go in. Bunny needs to go in with that medevac in order to get a scout. But he's being a little bit greedy right now. Just trying to get that mine again.
Yeah, oh, he does
Now he's going back
go into
in.
the main base. Yeah, it does spot anything that there is to see, looking to try and get another shot off.
Nothing here. Nice pickup here from Patience. Yeah, I mean, Bunny just sees that there's nothing coming out here in the main, so should know that all of that tech wasn't at proxy.
Yeah, honestly, if I was Bunny, I'd feel relatively safe, to be honest. Like, the proxy didn't really deal too much damage. He was able to handle himself very well. The Phoenixes are also kind of low. We'll see if they manage to get any damage. Just goes for Revelation instead. And Bunny, he's just kind of macroing up, you know, he's doing his thing, he's getting stim, getting +1. It's actually looking pretty good
working
this
on
game.
that timing. Getting 1 behind us, just continuing to macro up like you said. And once stim is almost complete, I think we should see things start to heat up from the Terran side.
Yeah, especially because he went in with that medevac, he scouted, he saw there was no robotics bay, he saw that the robotics facility was still being made as well, so he should feel relatively safe when it comes to AoE, and that also means that his bio is going to be that much more effective when he does finally push out. As I don't know what Patience is really going to go for now.
Well, he's hitting Blink, which should be we all saw this coming, and it's Patience.
Yeah.
But yeah, just sorting out a couple of static D as he's a little bit worried. I think he, like us, has figured out, you know, Bunny has quite a bit of an advantage and wants to go for a timing attack, so throws down a couple of cannons and shield batteries there. It's Viking trying to go around, potentially drop. Go ahead.
Yeah, we could see some drop defense, drop harass even, but I'm a little bit concerned. I imagine Patience, he's probably thinking that maybe the push is going to come soon, so he needs to throw down more gateways and just have more supply in general to defend, and maybe it's a little bit too risky to invest in AoE and invest in those tech buildings for Colossus. I don't know if it's going to work out for him though. We'll see, as we do have Bunny pushing out across the map.
That we do, and this is an even army, which as you know means that it can go either way. Lifting a landed Viking is always amusing to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And Bunny, what?
Yeah, he pulled back.
Alright, Bunny pulled back. Yeah, there was a little bit of harass here with Adepts here, but Bunny also floating his factory. Not really sure what that's about. I think it's either a mistake or Bunny is really, really dedicated to bio, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's odd because even though, like, you know, we don't expect very many mech units, like we do expect like either tanks or Widowmines or something to support the main army, not like just completely just neglecting factory production entirely. That's kind of...
I kind of like it, to be honest, Light.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I think maybe it's just because, you know, I'm hyped to see all of these bio. We don't have to waste any time with sieging things up, but at the same time, it's also, what does Patience have right now in terms of army? An army that most likely wouldn't walk into Widow Mines, would walk away from tanks, and if liberation zones get set up, they're just gonna snipe the liberators. So what is Bunny going to go for? Just stimmed bio, arguably the most effective versus a Immortal Stalker type of army, but Patience is starting to throw in some chargelets with that, as well as some disruptors.
I was gonna say that I would agree with you if Patience wasn't going for charge. Like, those chargelets, their bane of their existence is typically Widowmines. Widowmines typically just completely shred them. To be fair, instead of going for Widowmines, as a bio player, you could just get Ghosts and rely on EMPs instead. That is definitely an option, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, I wouldn't say they're unreliable, because Widowmines, as we all know, are the unreliable unit, but yeah, it's definitely hard to throw down and nail those EMPs. Especially if, and to be honest, it doesn't do that much against Zealots. Zealots have more health than they have shields.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find an alternative instead of having that AoE.
Well, he is going for Liberators.
Yeah, he is going for Liberators, which is nice for a single target. We'll see how he incorporates them in this army. As again, he pokes in, he backs off. Patience, he's getting his 4th base. Bunny's getting his 4th base. They're kind of leaving each other alone for the time being. And this is allowing Patience to tech up and now start that Colossus production. To be fair though, Bunny, I think he already did start a decent like Viking count.
He's switching to Liberators. Yeah, he got a couple of Vikings, but he's switching to Liberators, which, to be fair, still pretty good versus Colossus. Okay, 4 Vikings and mostly Liberators. I think, yeah, it's gonna come down to things like positioning, things like who sims first and whatnot.
Yeah. That Viking positioning was a little bit odd. Is he going for Vikings?
I think he is. I think he's trying to go for. I think he's trying to go for multi-prong here. He's sending the Vikings up north and. This is worrisome right now for Bunny. He is losing his Vikings, which is not at all ideal. But he does know that most of the army is there. That he did, and he sets up this Venn diagram here. Not even a Venn diagram, multiple diagrams, and it is just chewing through the Protoss army. Blinks forward by Patience, and those Disruptors, those Colossus, doing a fantastic job of zoning out the Terran Bio. Bunny manages to get a base, but.
4th base of Patience, we do have Bunny pushing in again, killing the base.
And what do we say, like, you want to be picking apart the Protoss player like so, and I guess it really doesn't matter that that Bunny is losing his Liberators because he's just getting so much value here, and the Marauders are just so tanky versus Colossus shots.
Yeah, honestly, in a straight-up engagement, Patience would have won the fight, but instead he was out of position. His main army was in his main base. Bunny was able to push and kill the 3rd base. At the same time, he was able to push and kill the 4th. So Patience, he was just never able to get that big army engagement, and now he's had enough. Now he's finally pushing across the map. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to defend these bases. I'm just going to force you into this big army versus army, and I think Patience can win this.
Potentially, these Stalkers are not being targeted down. The SCVs are doing such a good job on these Stalkers. The surround from Bunny is so real. That's a triple prong light. A triple prong surround. This reminds me of the old Maru days in Heart of Swarm. I think Bunny has just about broken Patience. But he's actually not that behind. There we go, GG. That was a beautiful encirclement by the end there for Bunny. I have not seen a bio encircle on top of Colossus like that since Heart of the Swarm, I gotta tell you, Light.
Yeah, GG, well played. Bunny takes out Patience 2-1, and will be heading into his next series against Solar.
I mean, we might not be following Bunny singing as there are quite a bit of casters here. No, but they're not. None of them are English. Yeah.
That would be the case if not for the fact that Mapu was observing, not casting.
Right.
As a reminder. But regardless, we will follow into Bunny versus Solar. If we can fit in, there are a lot of observers.
A lot of casters.
Yeah, a lot of casters seem to have been waiting. As I do quickly refresh the bracket and see how things have been progressing.